Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep playthrough. It is time for us to visit, not necessarily one of my favourite worlds in the game, but one of my favourite Disney movies in the game, so you win some, you lose some. But before we get to that point, we've got a whole bunch of jelly shades in space, which is a bit frustrating because you can't actually heal in space, so you just have to find ways to murder them as quickly as possible as you slide through. Thankfully, as long as you're skid charging and charging as you bust your way through, then they're not really going to have a chance to cause you any real harm. But they do seem like the numbers are pretty much endless, and you aren't going to be able to kill all of them. You just have to kill a decent number, and then eventually the fight will end. And plot will happen, effectively, really, basically. As I said, slightly crazy recording session, it's far too warm right now.
Huh? What?
So, yes, this is Deep Space, based quite clearly on Lilo and Stitch, which makes me really excited, like really super excited, because I love Lilo and Stitch. It's easily one of my favourite Disney movies of all time. But I do have mixed feelings about Deep Space, which we'll discuss as we go throughout this part.
Is he the one?
Yes, Grand Councilwoman. I've confined him until we can determine what he is. Take cover. Leave it to me to handle these fiends. Whatever you are, you're under arrest. Eventually.
Unversed. I'll give you a fight.
So yeah, we are in space, which annoyingly was always the least interesting bit of Lilo and Stitch, and I think that's sort of why I have problems with Deep Space as a whole. Because the fascinating bit of that film, and what was always really fun about it, was taking all these sci-fi elements and putting them on Hawaii, which is obviously the least sci-fi location you could possibly go to. And it was sort of that interconnection of worlds and the relationship between Stitch and Lilo. That's what made the film. And I don't think that Deep Space captures all of that. Like, I love the fact that they brought back all of the original voice actors. I mean, it's Disney, of course, they're going to, and they're all pretty, I think for the most part, pretty easily accessible, or were pretty easily accessible. Because obviously you've got Chris Sanders as Stitch, you've got Kevin Michael Richardson as Captain Gantu, you have, as soon as I can get the voice actor, pretty sure it's Zoe Caldwell as the Grand Councilwoman,
You help! I have been imprisoned on
and
Is that so?
you have the absolutely wonderful late David Oppenstairs as Dr. Jumba Jukiba, who just awesome!
He is bulletproof, fireproof, and can think faster
Unfortunately,
than
Please
supercomputer.
not in this game, although he was
can
set to
change
appear,
the
he
guard
just
and move
didn't in
objects
the end.
3,000 times his rather
Which
diminutive
sucks.
size. And for reasons preposterous, the Federation Council fears him. They take him away from me and throw me here in small, stuffy, rather badly lit cell.
Because he's so powerful?
Exactly. Everyone always gets antsy in pantsy when somebody more powerful is in the neighborhood. You understand, perhaps? We must make to rescue him, or he'll be banished to far reaches of space.
Okay then. Take me to him.
Experiment 626. His name I give to adorable fluffy creature you're helping for to rescue. And I am genius scientist who created him, Dr. Jumbo Jukiba.
I'm Terra.
Pleasure is all ours. 626 is this way. Hurry!
So, yeah, Jumper says hurry, we ain't hurrying. We've got platforming to do! Yay! It is all going to be worthwhile because, I mean, that's the main thing you want out of here. You want a high jump. Because that means that, you know, you're going to be able to jump a lot higher. Which is great! It's just that, and actually, high jump, if I equipped it now, would allow me to make that jump. But I'm daft and didn't realise that I'd actually picked up high jump. Because I really am daft. Now what is annoying is that some of these cells don't have anything in them. So you can end up in a situation where you've managed to make your way to a cell and be like, great, and then find there's nothing in it and just go, well, that was a complete waste of time. I wish there was a slightly easier way of telling, from here anyway, where the chests are. Because as it stands, it is difficult to figure it out. But I suppose that's just one of those things, and you get over it. The main thing that you do need air slide for this, otherwise it's not going to end well for you at all. But thankfully you'll only have to do this twice in the entirety of the game, and this was just one of those moments of just going, but I just want to get on top of the bloody thing. Platforming, once again, not this game's strongest suit, and definitely not Terra's strongest suit. In fact, it's easily his weakest. And also clearly, logic right here in this part was turning out to be one of my weaker suits, because I was not realising that I already had blooming high jump, so I could have just equipped it and made this not hugely less painful, but a little bit less painful. And that would have helped me out quite a lot. But there we go. So we've got that one, which brutal blast, quite nice. It's quite a powerful move. Mega potion, quite useful. I'm determined that I want that, and I completely fluffed it. Yeah, just everything about this prison chamber decided it was not going to be my friend when I was using Terra. Not in the slightest. Which is admittedly really embarrassing, because you would have thought, yeah, no, it'll be all fine, it'll be great. And then I also was just like, chest, no, it's not a chest. And just, yeah, probably could have cut out a little bit of the faff here. little teensy weensy bit, yeah, probably would have been a good, healthy idea rather than making you suffer. But then, to be fair, I suffered trying to make these moves, and yeah, that was another one of those. Just, what am I doing? What am I doing? Dead. And then it was this moment where I was just like, have I already picked up high jump? Yes, I have already picked up high jump. Bloody hell! This will get better as Terra's, well, as we level up high jump, but immediately that allows us to make a lot more progress through areas. And it's going to let me get that sticker much easier than I have been trying to do in the past several minutes. There we go, all sorted, and I think that that's everything. So I'm just going to leg it, because otherwise I will be there forever! And now, since I've leveled up a whole bunch of stuff, we're going to go into here. We want Terra and Terra, because this is going to give us, I believe, once more. There it is. See, that's what I was after. Just need it to get us sorted, and then we're all good. And then shove Brutal Blast in there, which will be great fun. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time, I feel, in deep space. As I said, it's not my favourite world in the game, partially because of the narrative issues. I would have preferred Hawaii, but then I get that would then arguably be far too close to Destiny Islands, and you want to have that variety in terms of the worlds, which there would be that issue at hand. That said, fingers crossed, post Kingdom Hearts 3 we might finally get our Hawaii Lilo and Stitch world. That would be nice. But in the meantime, we've just got to deal with this. I mean, there's a few fun ideas in deep space, because there's a whole gravity mechanic in terms of jumping up and around, which is good fun. But there are just a few slightly infuriating enemies that can teleport out of the way. Fighting with low gravity, while an interesting mechanic, isn't necessarily fully thought out. In general, it's just not my favourite world in the game, which sucks, because obviously I really love Lilo and Stitch as a film, and I love just everything about Lilo and Stitch. So for its world inclusion in Kingdom Hearts to not be everything I dreamed it would be it's disappointing. I mean, it's happened to many other people before. Part of it is the curse of how Kingdom Hearts' Disney World stories occur. You just sort of have to deal with it. But it is annoying. Now, you are going to want to kill these enemies. They're called, I believe, Glide Wingers, because you can miss them if you, don't actually kill any of them whilst you're out here, because you can't face them anywhere else. So you do have to think about that a little bit. But yes, this is our first room where we get to experience low gravity. The first thing you are going to want to do, generally whenever you enter this room, is destroy these cannons, because, as you can see, they can hurt you and they can cause quite a bit of damage if you are not prepared. So just make sure to just destroy them a little bit at least, so that then they can't hurt you, and then you can make progress. And one of the things that you do have to be careful with in terms of getting around is if you launch the zero gravity, then you will block off certain things, but also you'll gain access to certain things. So, for example, if the zero gravity was on, then I would not have been able to get into that room, and I also wouldn't have been able to pick up the chests, because they would be floating and wouldn't be able to grab them. Which would be frustrating, but it's okay. I can live with that. So generally what you want to do whenever you come into an area like this in Deep Space is rummage around the room first, make sure you've picked up everything that you possibly can, and then you want to just go for the low gravity, and then you can explore a bit further to the point where you may want to turn it off, may want to turn it back on again. It varies a bit. And also this is, I believe, a blobber mob. Weird jellyfish enemies that split as you kill more of them. I believe it is actually possible to destroy them without them splitting, but I'm not quite sure what instigates that. Part of me thinks it's destroying them before they have time to split, but honestly I'm really not sure. Either way, they're really not that difficult as enemies, so just murder away and you should be good. And yeah, I am really a fan of Brutal Blast. There's a whole bunch of sort of the most powerful moves in the game. You've got Brutal Blast, Sonic Blades kind of fits in that, Ars Solum, Ars Arcanum, and there's a few really awesome ones. There's one which is Time Splitter, which allows you to teleport all over the place. That's really awesome. There's also a lot of like really powerful magic attacks, which are just great fun. And I will actually be getting all of them as Aqua. There are actually a few magic attacks that you can only get as Terra and Ven, so unfortunately I won't actually be showing those ones off, but it's okay, because that's just the way it rolls. I mean, to be fair, I'm spending more time on Aqua Story anyway, largely because I know what occurs afterwards, so I know where I want to put my time and energy. But yes, this is a particularly fun but also annoying room, because you've got all these different levels. Great! And you can climb up, you can climb down. There's that nice sort of sense of verticality. The only issue is that to get all the way up to the top, which is where you need to go, you need to go all the way down to the bottom and then climb all the way back up with the low gravity on, which, yeah, is not the most fun thing in the world. And also the enemies that I was talking about that frustrate me are the sort of little antenna things. Yeah, they're a bit annoying. And I suppose it's not too bad with Terra, because ultimately, as long as you're careful, you can get all of the things as you go down. The challenge is with pretty much all the other characters whenever they go through this room, because they're pretty much consistently going up rather than down. Although, as you can see, I did mess up slightly there and fall a bit too early for my own good. It's fine because there's chests down here as well, so I can just make sure to pick it all up here. I think one of the other things that throws me off about Deep Space is it's the music. It's because probably when I hear this music, I think Space Paranoids and Tron, and it works in there. It works in context of that world, but here it just doesn't. It doesn't feel Lilo and Stitchy, and that frustrates me because, as you can tell, I love Lilo and Stitch. I mean, if you want to hear me gush even more than I already am in this very part about Lilo and Stitch, then you only need to watch my Disneython 2 commentary of Lilo and Stitch to know that just I adore everything about the film. I mean, from the message to just everything about it. I mean, Ohana means family, family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. That's definitely one of my life mottos. And yeah, I really love Lilo and Stitch, and I wanted better Kingdom Hearts representation, as I said. That said, I do like one of the things that they do in Deep Space, which is actually in Terra's story, funnily enough. So we've just got to, you know, make our way to that in order to get the enjoyment out of it. It's just going to take us a little bit longer to get to. And I will say this is a very good levelling up spot because there are a lot of enemies in this room. It's just that obviously you've then got to do all the platforming back up to get to wherever you want to get to. I mean, if I recall correctly, sort of your best locations to level up well, I mean, the Mirage Arena is the one that I think a lot of people will probably recommend. We are going to visit the Mirage Arena, once as Terra, once as Aqua. And then I need to decide how much more of the Mirage Arena I'm actually going to show off. Once again, that depends on how much I can actually be bothered to do with it. So the other part of it is how much I'm actually capable of doing. Because once again, it's that whole thing of optional boss battles, and obviously when I did my Kingdom Hearts 1 run, I took on all of them because I felt like an unstoppable badass and I wanted to achieve that. When it came to Kingdom Hearts 2, because the level differential in terms of taking them on, and also because like the Colosseum's really frustrating in that game, it didn't feel like the right thing to do. And also, if I recall correctly, at least in the version of Kingdom Hearts 2 that I had, because it was the original one, there was only the one real optional boss fight, which was Sephiroth, which, yeah, I needed to be like 30 levels higher than I actually was not happening. Whereas, potentially, in Birth by Sleep, I might be in a bit better of a position to take on some of those more challenging fights. We'll see what happens. See, this is one of the joys also of doing commentary on games as you are recording them, because you never know quite what you're going to be able to throw out and quite where you're going to go with it as you progress. And turn around, there was a chest, for the love of God, there was a chest behind you, you nutjob. If I miss that chest, I'll be very frustrated, because I mean the boss fight is just through that door there, so that's why I'm doing everything in my power not to go through it. Good, I'm please say that I might look back and actually pick it up. Please? Please? Oh, thank God for that. That would have been really embarrassing had I missed that. Like, really stupidly embarrassing. There's still 2 chests that I haven't gotten, which my brain's going, where the hell are they? But I don't think I can actually get them until I come back to the world after I've beaten it. So, that's okay. That's okay with me. But yes, we are due a boss fight. So the one thing that I would recommend is do not have any lightning or thunder related moves. It's not going to do you any good in this fight. In fact, it will really screw you over. So everything else is a-okay, but just no thunder. There's my ickle cute ball of fluff.
Tremendous power in such itty-bitty package. Truly, he's the one and that's the only. The mightiest creature in all of galaxy. And his only singular instinct to destroy everything he touches. See?
What? When did you... Give that back!
Too late. He's already marked for destruction.
No, stop! My friend gave me that!
Oh. Friend? Are you joking? Such concept is totally lost on 626.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
This whole time I've been telling myself I want to be stronger. More
I
independent.
can't believe I totally butchered
But
that.
the second I let my heart do the talking, I find out how little I really know myself. And how much I miss them. That experiment of yours. You sure about him? Maybe in his heart he wants friends, just like the rest of us.
Impossible, Petty. He has no actual feelings, only destructive instincts I have carefully chosen for him. Or perhaps you need another demonstration of my evil geniusness.
And here we go. It's time for our actual boss fight for Terra's story. It is, rather brilliantly, Experiment 221, otherwise known as Sparky, which I really love. Like, it makes no sense in the context of Lilo and Stitch, the story, because the Grand Councilwoman and all the people in space believed that Experiment 626 was the only experiment that Dr. Jumbo Kiba ever actually created. Like, they thought all the others were theoretical. No. All of them existed, and that is why Lilo and Stitch the series was so completely and utterly glorious. And I really want like a proper, like a DVD Blu-ray release of the Lilo and Stitch the series, because I don't think us in the UK ever actually got one, which makes me really sad, because I always wanted it, because I always wanted to see everything in the series, because I loved that series as a kid. I really did. I mean, you can tell I love Lilo and Stitch anyway, but I really wanted to see every episode of the series, because then that just makes Leroy and Stitch, the finale of the entire series, make more sense. But either way, Sparky's dead. There's Thunderbolt, and I was saying about it in Disney Town. We finally got it! Thank God for that.
Oh, you'll be all right, little one. Huh? What is it? Why have you returned?
Maybe he's wondering what a friend is.
Ridiculous.
My name is Terra.
Terra.
Yes. I can't explain friendship. When you feel it, you'll know it.
Not if I have any say in matter. You are only meant to think about what it is you will destroy next. Now, I fix what is wrong with you.
Red alert! Red alert! Experiment 626 and 2 prisoners have escaped from the cell bay. Security, locate the fugitives immediately. Repeat, experiment 626
Not so fast.
and 2 prisoners have escaped from the cell
Well,
bay.
we can't stay here and get caught.
Locate the fugitives immediately.
Vend, Aqua, I'll find some way to make things right.
So yes, there is our D-Link with Experiment 626. And that one is delightful. That's the one that I was talking about. If you manage to completely level up Stitch's D-Link to max, you can get double experience points whenever you're using him, which, as you can imagine, absolute godsend. And one that I would definitely recommend. Now, I believe we need to go to Machinery Bay Access in order to get our 2 missing chests. Because I believe... No, okay, we can't go that way. Fine. But if we go somewhere near here, I think, anyway, we should be able to find those chests. It's just ones that we weren't able to access on our first visit here. Now, this is another inverse challenge. It's not going to go well for me, I can tell you that now. This is sort of giant... Well, this is a gluttonous goo, which is interesting. It's basically playing Struggle against this guy, and it's more challenging than Struggle, definitely, because unlike Struggle, where your opponents couldn't really get close to you if you kept moving once you'd gotten to a victorious moment, the gluttonous goo can actually get around the arena a lot quicker and can really quickly decimate your total number of orbs that you've got. I don't think he is affected by magic at all, so really it does just end up being an absolute mess. The whole gist is that you want to get as many orbs as possible. In order to get the max rating, you need to get between 90 and 100, which, as you can imagine, rather difficult. Especially considering you've got to keep those for... Well, you've got to do it all in 2 minutes, which is pretty much where I'm going to completely screw up. At least if I recall correctly, it's where I'm going to completely screw up. Because while I've gotten up to 80 right now, which is brilliant, and so on and so forth. Every time you get hit, you lose 20. He loses 20 if you hit him. You lose 20 if he hits you, which is kind of mean. But it's just the way it rolls. And come on. I mean, I know it's not going well, and I'm just going to lose loads as I go. You can kind of make things slightly easier on you by using your finish attacks, because that can help lift it up a little bit, but even then, it's not perfect, and he can do things like that, and as you can see, I ended up with 34, which is only a 1-star rank, and at that point it's just like, yeah, no, not going to continue with that one, thank you very much. And after that, it was just like, you know what, I just want to get me chests and get the hell out of here. So that is what I'm going to do. Annoyingly, well, not so annoyingly, because all I have to do is drop down, which much grateful. It's right back in the room where we fought Experiment 221. So it's just a massive backtrack. Thankfully, actually no, it's not quite in this room. You can go a bit further down the corridor now, which is the key thing that you'll just notice as I ran through the door. But there is a save point where I could have gone, which would have been a lot closer, so I just ended up completely faffing myself over, going to the furthest possible save point from my goal, which is bloody typical. But hey, these things happen. And that's one chest, and I believe the other chest is there, and then I'm just gonna, absolute zero the hell out of this, and then I'm booking it to that save point, because as it's quite warm in the UK right now, and I am overheating, and yes, I feel like I need a good rest, and also I really want to finish off recording the rest of the story of Birth by Sleep, because I'm really excited and hyped. I know exactly what happens, I've played through it before, but as a whole, it just makes me happy. So, with this last bit of unversed murder, we are going to return to the control room, save up, and then it's time to head on to the penultimate world of the game. We're very close to the end of Terra's story right now. It might take us a little longer than that to get to the end of Terra's story, but still, we're pretty damn close. So, let's head on to a new world.